guys, good morning. Welcome to maybe what will turn into a what I eat in a day, kind of a general vlog, but I thought I would bring you on another Trainwell workout that I'm doing. Today is a full body workout, so I will be doing upper and lower body. I had a pretty tough Pilates class yesterday, despite the fact that it was a level 1 class. The teacher that it was supposed to be wasn't the teacher. The teacher that it was supposed to be is somebody who's already hard, and so I generally take level 1s from him. But yeah, this woman, I mean, she was like really heavy on some of the lower body stuff, so we'll see how my legs hold out because they're definitely sore. But anyway, yeah, I just thought I would kind of take you guys along for the day again, and let's get this workout going.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
So I thought I'd have a little chat with you here while I've got a place to sit and just finish my workout. So there were a couple things about Trainwell that I forgot to share actually when I was doing my introduction video about the program, etc. So the first thing, and one that I think is extremely valuable, is if you wear an Apple Watch, or I'm assuming like the Samsung one, some other like fitness watch kind of thing, is that it has the ability then to give you feedback. So for example, on my arms or upper body day, it was a whatever this is where you go like this. I can't think of the name of the exercise right now. Anyway, it was telling me that I needed to go lower. So it tracks your motion because of the watch, and so it gives you feedback. There have been other times where it's told me to go higher. There have been times where it's told me to go slower, for example. So if I'm doing the exercise too quickly, it will tell me I need to slow down my reps. So that's something that you would get if you had a personal trainer standing over your shoulder saying, okay, making sure your range of motion is correct, making sure your timing is correct, posture, things like that. And so obviously you don't have to have a watch to use the app. There have been a couple of workouts where I just forgot to wear my Apple Watch. And so, I didn't get feedback on those like I do, but you get feedback as in, corrected feedback. And then you also get, like, when you're 80% of the way through your reps on something, you'll get a, way to go, or keep it up, things like that. Again, things that if you had a personal trainer standing over your shoulder, that they would say to you, right? They would give you points of encouragement and motivation and things like that. The other thing that I just wanted to say is something that actually happened yesterday in the app. So first of all, pretty much after every workout I've done, Natalie, who's my trainer, has sent me a message through chat saying, hey, looks great, whatever. One of her last messages to me was, everything seems like it's going great, so we'll probably stick to this for a couple more weeks, and then we'll go ahead and up your reps and start building from there. And then after that, we'll start upping weights and things like that. So again, that requiring me to continue to grow and to push myself is something that if I was just doing it myself, I probably wouldn't do. Not probably, I wouldn't do. And so I think that's fantastic. But the other thing that happened yesterday, which I don't know. I don't know if this is all trainers, or I guess maybe I should only speak from my own personal experience, but she sent me a message yesterday saying, hey, I just want to let you know, you've got your full body workout tomorrow as a reminder. And, please go ahead, leave any feedback. But just so you know, I'm actually on vacation tomorrow and out for the weekend. I think she said she was traveling for a wedding or something like that. And so, leave any feedback and she would get back to me, after she gets back from her vacation. Now, in general, I already know that she told me up front, like if you leave a message, for example, after like 6 o'clock or whatever, she probably won't respond to it until the next day because it's past her work day, whatever. And the same with weekends. So I would never expect her to respond to me if I sent her a message on Saturday or Sunday. But obviously on Friday, which I happen to be doing this on a Friday, which is my full body day, if I sent her a message now, she had said to me, generally if you send a message during the day, I will get back to you that same day. And she always has. And generally within like an hour or two, to be very honest with you. But I just thought that was really, first of all, proactive of her. But second, I just don't know that I would have expected that from a virtual personal trainer. I mean, she didn't owe that to me, I don't think personally, but I just really appreciated the heads up that she was going to be gone and, just a reminder of what my workout was. I don't know, maybe it's me, but I personally was just really impressed by that and the fact that she was letting me know. So anyway, you guys can probably tell I am loving this program. Highly, highly recommend it. Again, if you want to get a 14-day free trial and save $10 off your first month after your trial ends, then use the link in the description box. I will try to remember to pin it to the top comments, although I think I can do that. Because I know sometimes it's hard to find the description box. You have to, expand the box, which sometimes depending on what's in it, you click it and anyway, but you need to click more and more. And I realize for some people, it can be kind of a tricky thing. So I will try to remember to put the link also in a pinned comment at the top. So if you know how to leave a comment, then you will see that pinned comment at the top. So anyway, all right, well, I am done with my workout, which means I am gonna go upstairs and make my protein coffee, and I am using a new flavor, you guys. So I will tell you all about that when we get upstairs. flavors. So I thought as I was getting ready here, I would kind of go over that new coffee recipe. So I think in my last What I Eat in a Day, I showed you that I was trying that new Jaffe coffee, protein coffee mix, and I've been really enjoying it, but how I really have found I liked it even more is with this new flavor. I think it's new to me, I guess. No, I normally use the caramel, and that's been my go-to for 5 years now, because it is now officially May as I film this. So the new flavor is salted caramel truffle. So it has a little bit of a chocolate flavoring to it as well, which is something that I generally don't love. A lot of people have asked me, you know, about the different flavors of Premier Protein or other things like that, or why do I not use something, and I've never been a big, it sort of reminds me of chocolate Coke. If any of you guys are familiar with that, it's a big thing in like Kansas City. At least I had never heard of it until I got to Kansas City. But those kind of like flavored, I don't know, I'm just not a big, yeah. Anyway, so this flavor of Premier Protein has a little bit of a chocolate flavor. You could probably tell even from the color of it. It's definitely a more of a brown color. The caramel is more kind of a cream color. Anyway, so I tried that. I just bought a 4-pack to try because a good friend of mine, both in person and on YouTube, Meredith from Living Lux with Meredith, I'll have her channel linked below. She ended up doing my protein coffee thing as well. So she was the one who actually sent me a link and said, hey, have you tried this yet? Because she loves salted caramel. And I said, no, I haven't, but I will give it a try for us. So I ordered a 4-pack because, you know, I didn't want to invest in a 12-pack in case I wasn't going to like it. So the first thing I did was I tried it with, you know, just the way I normally make my protein coffee, which is just with a double shot of espresso and, you know, my different caramel syrup things that I use and the little bit of vanilla protein that I use as a cold foam. So I did that, and using that salted caramel truffle wasn't the biggest fan. It just had, I told Meredith this, for me personally, I mean, some people may love it. I'm sure people will love it. It just had a little bit too much chocolate flavor to it for me. So the next day, I tried it with the Jaffe caramel protein powder, you know, mix, whatever. So that gave me kind of a little boost of the caramel flavor into the salted caramel truffle Premier Protein. And I really, really liked that, which is what you saw me make today. And then in addition to that, I have been adding, it's hard for me to add powder to just like when I normally do my caramel one, because to mix powder into the liquid is just hard, and I don't love using the whole blender thing. I don't know, it just, for some reason I feel like it gives it a different consistency or something. It makes it kind of more frothy, or I don't know. Anyway, maybe it's just me. But my point is, since I have to do that for the Jaffe, because FYI, I did just try doing the Jaffe originally with just like using the frother thing. Yeah, no. You need actual blending, you know, to go on. You need a motor, a real motor behind it to really get it mixed in consistently and not have lumps, and oh, that's like disgusting. Anyway, so since I have to use that for the Jaffe when I use it, I can add the creatine, which is great, especially, you know, for workouts and post-workout kind of things. And then I had forgotten that I had that Vital Proteins collagen. So I started adding that back in, you know, what you find in like the back of a cupboard. So that's great. So I was able to add both of those in, which is great. So basically, this was 1 shot of espresso. I did finally, we needed to reorder our Nespresso pods. And so I ordered 2 sleeves of just single espresso because the double was just a little too much. The single is perfection. So I used 1 shot of espresso, 1 container, whatever you want to call it, 1 carton, I guess, of the salted caramel truffle protein from Premier Protein. I used 1 scoop of the Javi caramel protein. So the Premier Protein gets me 30 grams, the Javi gets me another 10, so that's 40. And then I add the vanilla protein as a cold foam on top of it, which is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of, depending on how much I use, 3 to 5 grams. So, you know, I'm getting a good 40 plus grams of protein in this. And then I use, as you saw, the sugar-free skinny syrup caramel thing. And then I use that just regular Smucker's Sunday caramel thing, which is not sugar-free, but as I mentioned before, the sugar-free one or whatever it is like 10 calories difference. It's not worth it to me. The sugar's fine. So anyway, yeah, I'm really enjoying that salted caramel truffle flavor this way. So much actually that I did just order a case of it, which will be here tomorrow, which is good because I just used the 4th one. So I think I'll kind of alternate back and forth, you know, just doing my normal caramel one with a double shot of espresso, and you know, that'll be fine. And then some days I will do the salted caramel truffle with the single shot of espresso plus the Javi protein powder. So anyway, I'm gonna finish getting ready, but I just thought I would talk you through that and share that because I know a lot of people ask me about my coffee recipe and it was a little bit different this time. So I thought I would walk you through it, and I will catch up with you guys some point later in the day.
Till I get up, time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Lunchtime, bon appetit. So I've been making this for years. Again, probably back to 2020 when I was doing Weight Watchers actually, or WW as it was, I think then, with the whole point system. So this was a very like point friendly lunch. As you can see, I had some taco meat. It was just ground beef. I think this time I used 80-20 because that's what I had back then. I definitely would have used like the 96.4 to get the lowest point possible on the beef. I did measure that out. It was basically 4 ounces. Now that did include corn. So, you know, maybe it was like 3.5 ounces of beef and 1/2 ounce of corn, just to give it a little different texture and flavor. It's that roasted corn from Trader Joe's, which I really like. And then the dressing that I put on was the salsa ranch. I also have used that for a long time. That's from Bolthouse Farms, I think is the name of it. You have to get it in the refrigerated section in the grocery store, so it won't be like in the normal salad dressing shelf, you know, area. I really like it. It definitely gives just a little extra flavor to the salad because like I didn't put like pico de gallo or anything like that in there. I do usually like to throw some healthy fats. Like I usually have avocado mash. We get those like little individual containers from either Sam's or Costco. But I haven't been to Costco in a while, or Sam's frankly. So we don't have any of those, but normally I would probably put like half of one of those little containers in there, again, just for some healthy fats, but also some additional flavor. And I had this salad because basically I make up a whole pound of ground beef and I kind of use that for roughly 4 meals or so. And so I had it for dinner the first night I made it, and I realized it just was lacking flavor because all I had that night was the lettuce, cheese, sour cream, yogurt mix with the ground beef, and it just didn't land the same if you want to call it that. So I walked over before I made this over to the grocery store, which is just like a block and a half away, and picked up a bottle of that salsa ranch. It tends to go bad pretty quickly. Like it's definitely one of those salad dressings that you need to pay attention to the, you know, use by date. Most other things I find that isn't really applicable so much, but that particular salad dressing does. So, and I never seem to use it up like that quickly because the only thing I ever use it for is this. So anyway, so you saw I did chopped up some lettuce in my taco salad kind of things. I really like more chopped lettuce as opposed to just like ripped. If I had maybe some of the Quest tortilla chips that have some protein in them, that would have been great too. Or honestly, at this point in my journey, just some regular tortilla chips would be fine too. But always a bonus to get some extra protein. I can only do those Quest chips in small amounts, and probably mixed in with something like this, I'd be okay with it. But something that kind of gives it a little bit of crunch, you know, too, and a little different flavor. Obviously the roasted corn. I did throw some of that like Mexican fiesta or whatever cheese blend on it. Again, back in the WW days, or even when I was in my weight loss journey part, or the weight loss part of my journey, I would have weighed everything, right? So I would have kept my bowl on there. I would have, you know, put the meat on. The meat I weighed separately because I wanted to heat it up in the microwave, and I always like to put my bed of lettuce in first. So I use a separate bowl to heat up the meat. But I would have then, you know, put this bowl on, zeroed it out after I put the lettuce in, measured the amount of cheese, measured the amount of sour cream, measured the amount of salad dressing, measured the amount of Greek yogurt. Again, probably in the weight loss phase, I wouldn't have used the sour cream. I would have only used the Greek yogurt. But this way I get a little bit of the sour cream, but I also get a little bit of the protein from the Greek yogurt. So anyway, I'm gonna go eat this. This will be, like I said, my lunch for today, and super easy to throw together, especially if you cook the ground beef like I cooked it on Sunday night. And, you know, now I'll have it for several lunches over the week. Hey guys, editing Lisa here. Sorry, I realized I never filmed a dinner clip for you guys, so apologies for that, but at least you got to see my new coffee recipe and what I eat for lunch actually I shouldn't say fairly often, but over the last few weeks, I've been eating that kind of taco salad kind of thing quite often because I just like the way it tastes. And I don't know about you guys, but I go through phases where I'll eat the same thing like over and over again. And then, you know, I do that for a few weeks. And after that, I never want to eat it again for another 6 months. So the taco salad has kind of been my thing lately. In fact, I think I'll make some tonight for this coming week. So anyway, I am kind of back to the living. I ended up having, if any of you follow my other channel, I did put a note up there in the post community tab, whatever they're calling it now, that I was under the weather. I did on Friday test positive for C19. So I've been dealing with that, but they did give me the prescription, so it's definitely getting better. The worst part about that medicine, I've never taken it before, is it leaves your mouth super dry, like cotton mouth, And then in addition to that, it leaves like a metal taste in your, it's the worst. I've never had anything that bad in my life, like tasting, it's just, yeah. Anyway, so I've been trying to chew gum. But you can kind of probably hear in my voice that I'm, still a little under the weather, but I did go ahead and actually shower and wash my hair and get dressed and put some makeup on and a wig, and I feel kind of human. So that's why I am editing the video here, but just wanted to close this out. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already. It really means a lot to a creator when you subscribe to their channel, and it doesn't cost you anything, but it does really help us out. So click the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you will know every time I upload a video. If you want to keep on watching, there'll be another video here on the screen for you to watch. And remember, kindness and hate spread the same. The choice is yours. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.